Peace be upon you, 11th graders of Mahdi High Schools. Today, in this video, I'm going to explain a reading lesson. So, let's start. What do you see in these pictures? As you see, there is freezing water, cold weather, and ice everywhere. If you combine all the pictures together, you will deduce that I'm going to talk about a place that is full of ice with freezing weather. Consequently, I'm going to talk about the continent of Antarctica. The objectives of this video is to introduce the continent of Antarctica, its location, and its characteristics. In addition, I'm going to identify Madrid Protocol and the Antarctic Treaty. Before we start, please open your books on page 168 to discuss the pre-reading questions. Question number 1. Where is Antarctica? Number 2. Discuss what you know about Antarctica. And number 3. Why scientists study Antarctica. Concerning question number 1, as you see the map, it can show the location of Antarctica. So, Antarctica is located at the South Pole and is surrounded by the Southern Ocean. Over 98% of Antarctica is covered by ice. It is the driest and coldest continent on Earth. The Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans surround it on all sides. Antarctica is surrounded on all sides by water. The three oceans are collectively called the Southern Ocean. The closest continents to Antarctica are Africa, South America, and Australia. Now, what do you know about Antarctica? We have 4 main facts about Antarctica. Let's see them together. Antarctica is a continent of superlatives. Superlative is an adjective used to show something has a quality of the greatest degree. Antarctica is the coldest, the highest in average elevation 6,500 feet, the least inhabited, the iciest, the most isolated, the least land animals, the most recently explored, and the list goes on. Fact number 2. Antarctica is on average the windiest place on Earth. Scientists have reported wind speeds that have reached up to 200 miles per hour. Fact number 3. The Antarctic ice sheet is the single biggest mass of ice in the world and can sometimes be up to 4 miles thick. The continent as a whole contains about 90% of the planet's freshwater ice and around 70% of the total freshwater on Earth. Fact number 4. There are 30 different countries that operate 80 research stations situated around the continent. The human inhabitants who occupy these facilities number around 4,000 during the summer months and only 1,000 during the long, harsh winters. Now for the third question. Some scientists study Antarctica. Why? Antarctica is important for science because of its profound effect on the Earth's climate and ocean systems. Scientific expeditions have found valuable minerals in some of these Antarctic areas. The most valuable resources of Antarctica lie offshore, namely the oil and natural gas fields found in the Ross Sea in 1973. Exploitation of the oil mineral resources is banned until 2048 by the Protocol on Environmental Protection to the Madrid Protocol and the Antarctic Treaty. And these two concepts, the Madrid Protocol and the Antarctic Treaty, will be explained later in this video. Now, as you see, this is the map found in your book on page 168. Notice that Antarctica has 2 main regions which are unexplored yet. Why do you think? Before the first serious scientific study of Antarctica in 1957-58, the continent was considered to be a cold wasteland. Now, however, scientists know that Antarctica's ecosystem is vital to life on Earth for many reasons. International treaties have established that no country has control over Antarctica, and the Madrid Protocol states that its oil and mineral resources are protected until the year 2048. Different groups with conflicting interests may find it difficult to reach an agreement on the continent's future.
In a way, we've come to the ends of the Earth. It's only a little bit more over a century that people were pushing across the Antarctic on land and exploring it. The deep ocean around Antarctica is just as blank to us now as it was 100 years ago. We have the technology to reach into the ocean depths here.
Attention all crew. We are presently in the launch position. Pitch and roll or within constraints.
It's such a mix of emotions. It is exciting, it is thrilling, and yet it's also slightly terrifying. And you're not quite sure what the outcome is going to be. But you reach into the unknown, you are going to come back with something that you didn't have before.
Bridges, so that's rover, subsurface.
No one has previously dived to 1,000 meters in Antarctica. It's a huge opportunity to be involved in this kind of exploration. You're just seeing the world with fresh eyes for the first time.
Control, deep rover. My depth, 1,000 meters. On bottom, over.
Oh, we're really seeing some krill now. They're starting to come in. Krill are one of the most important parts of the ecosystem here. They are food for so many of the inhabitants here, and they're so numerous, they really dominate the oceans around here. These particles we've seen raining down are marine snow. It's organic material that's sinking to the seabed, and it's food. Here, it's thicker than I've ever seen it anywhere else in the world's oceans. That's beautiful. It's incredibly rich marine life we're seeing here. I mean, it's a sort of a living carpet. But just on one rock, I counted more than a dozen species just by eye. That oxygen-rich water that's sinking past us is really giving us this lush, living landscape. Crocodile ice fish just ahead. Oh, nice one. Nice one.
Nadir rover, we've got a big Death Star over here.
One of the animals that's amazed us, we've nicknamed the Death Star. It's an Antarctic sun sea star.
Please open your books on page 169. Let's read the title together. Antarctica, whose continent is it anyway? So, let's see, Antarctica is for whom? As you read the first paragraph, the world discoverer, our cruise ship, stopped in front of a white ice cliff, higher than the ship's mast. As large as France, the Ross Ice Shelf of Antarctica extends unbroken along the Ross Sea for hundreds of miles. In the first paragraph, the writer describes the scene when they reached Antarctica. The next paragraph. Like other passengers on our cruise ship, we had been lured. Lured means attracted by an irresistible attraction. What is that attraction? The chance to visit the most remote place on Earth and the most unusual. Here, we are talking about Antarctica. Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth, is also the subject of conflicting interests: scientists, tourists, environmentalists, and oil and mineral seekers. So we can notice that Antarctica holds many rich resources as oil and minerals. So in order to protect these resources, a certain protocol was done, the Madrid Protocol. Scientists treasure the unparalleled advantage for research. Tourists prize that chance to visit Earth's last frontier. Environmentalists fear that increases in both activities will pollute the continent and jeopardize its fabulous creatures. Others contend that preserving Antarctica is a kind of world park will deprive the rest of the world of much needed oil and mineral reserves. So, for that purpose, the Madrid Protocol was done. Fears of Antarctica's ruin through commercial exploitation was partly reduced by the October 1991 31 nation signing of the Madrid Protocol. What is the Madrid Protocol? It's a certain agreement that bans oil and gas exploration until 2048. Through this protocol, the continent will keep its resources and no one will be able to exploit its resources. But Antarctica's unique attributes, it is the coldest, driest, and highest continent, will keep it at the focus of conflicting scientific and touristic interests. Now, a unique continent. Why is Antarctica considered a unique continent? Usually when the word unique is said, it means that there's something special about something. And Antarctica is so special. Why? Number one, Antarctica has 2.4% of its 5.4 million square mile land mass is ice-free, and then only for a few months a year. Scientists also estimate that 70% of the world's fresh water is locked away in Antarctica's ice cap. So it means that if it were ever to melt, sea levels might rise to 100 feet. Also in Antarctica, winds can blow at better than 200 miles per hour and temperatures drop as low as minus 128.6 Fahrenheit. Also, these are many characteristics that make Antarctica a unique one. In addition, Antarctica is vital to life on Earth. The continent's vast ice fields reflect sunlight back into space, preventing the planet from overheating. So we notice that Antarctica plays an important role in protecting the planet. In addition, Antarctic seas teem with life, making them an important link in the world food chain. The frigid waters of the Southern Ocean are home to species of birds and mammals that are found nowhere else. The National Science Foundation considers this continent is the best place to study and understand many phenomena, such as temperature circulation in the oceans, unique animal life, zone depletion, and glacial history. Now, the Antarctic Treaty. I have summarized the Antarctic Treaty in the following paragraph. In 1959, 12 countries with scientists stationed in and around Antarctica signed an agreement that Antarctica shall continue forever to be used exclusively for peaceful purposes and shall not become the scene or object of international discord. Since then, more than 38 countries have signed what is known as the Antarctic Treaty in order to protect all the resources found in Antarctica. Finally, the latest developments. In February 2014, China announced its plan for a fourth Antarctic research base and plans for a fifth base in the near future. We go back to the question one more time that is found in the title. So whose continent is Antarctica anyway? The former Vice President Albert Gore best expresses the feelings of those of us who have fallen in love with this strange and spectacular land. He says, I think that it should be held in trust as a global ecological reserve for all the people in the world, not just in this generation, but later generations to come as well. So he points here that we should preserve and keep and protect this continent in order to be left for the other generations to see the most attractive, spectacular continent have ever found on our planet. Please read Chapter 10, Antarctica, whose continent is it anyway, one more time on pages 168 to page 171, do fact findings on page 172, and solve reading analysis on pages 173 to page 177. Thank you very much.